I've got this back from buffing out the edge, burnishing it, I mean. And you can see that gives it a pretty decent edge. You know, you can spend more time on it and get it darker, but that's pretty much it. Now, and also just show you how this fits. Pretty good fit, really good fit on this side. Not quite as sharp on this side, but it will work. So now we got to think about the straps and the the straps that go around and the straps that go over. The strap that goes over. So the way I think I'm going to do this is I'll attach it like this, and then functionally it will come around like so, and I will have it stop about right there, and I'll put two snaps in it, there and there, and then I'll have the another strap, not this particular one I'm holding, but another strap come around like this, and then attach on a stud right there to hold the sheath in. So the important thing is on that is the order I have to do this in. I need to get my two snaps installed here and here, and then get my stud attached there, and then get those into this strap, and then glue the whole thing down, and then I can sew it in. Now you don't have to glue it in, because the problem is that with the snaps, the thing is that the glue will hold it in place while you're sewing it and everything, but it also kind of forms a, I don't know, it tends to come off because the glue tends to separate because it's not perfectly flat on the back because of the way these snaps work. So if you don't want to, you don't have to glue it in. That would keep it from having a little less sightly look between the edge of the two pieces of leather, but I'm really more concerned about it making sure that I have it in exactly the right place when I'm doing it, so I don't mind a little bit of glue showing on the edges. But anyway, I'll put the two snap positions in. You mark them out. You know you want them basically right here, right? So you put them in place, and then you kind of place them out where you know that's where you want them, something like that. And then you mark them with a pencil, or you press them in real hard so that they leave an impression, and then you punch the holes that you need for those to go in. So something like that, because you also need a little bit of space on the edge for you to sew it in on both sides, so that it sews through the sheath and you know, holds it in really good. You could, well, yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. If you had longer rivets, you could rivet it through on one edge or both edges, but my rivets won't quite make it that far through that much leather, so I'll just wind up sewing it in, which is plenty strong enough as well. You could even do, with the amount of leather I have on each side, you could do a double row of stitching if you wanted to give it a little bit of extra strength. So I'll go ahead and mark these, punch them, and then install them. Okay, now I gotta wait 10 to 15 minutes for that to dry, and then I'll put that on there. Okay, I've got the strap attached with some rubber cement. I've gone ahead and done the other side and put some glue on it. That's drying right now for a little bit so I can put the other side on. The next step is to sew it in here and here on both sides, on both straps. The way that I do that, the best method that I've found for me is I take the smallest drill bit I can find, which I think is a 1/16, I believe, and I drill holes across fairly evenly, and then I sew it up with a large needle. So you have to mark. You want to mark where you want to put that stitching. So one method for that is I take just a standard finish nail, and I'll decide about how far in I want it to go, and to me that looks about right, and I will just draw that, pull that across. That forms a mark in the leather, and then you have a line of where you want the stitching to be. This side is a little harder because of that strap in the way, but basically it's the same idea. You need to make sure that it matches so that it looks consistent, but you're wanting to put a line across that you can then put holes for the stitching. So then I mark them, because since I cut these out with a drill bit, I want to make sure that I get them in the right spot. So go ahead and mark it there, and on the other end where I want it to go, and then probably going to just put 4 stitches in here. You could do 5. I'll go ahead and do 5. Just put one right in the center between those 2 holes, in between those centers, and right there. So I've now marked them and I can drill them. Same thing over here. This is the best way I've found to do this without having a machine that sews them. I'll do the same thing on this side and I'll stitch them up. When you stitch along the main thing, you do basically the same thing. You just mark it and then just put ticks every so often so that, and space them out as evenly as you can, and then that forms the basis for where you put in all your stitching. So I'll go ahead and put the other side on and drill these out and then show you what it looks like after that. Okay, I've got the rivets installed and I've drilled the holes for the stitching on the straps. I use a nylon wax cord. It's this kind of stuff is available from Tandy Leatherworks. I believe they call it artificial sinew there. This isn't exactly what this is, but it's good. It's basically the same stuff. So the idea is you just push it through the holes you drilled. When you go back through the stitch you already came on the last one, you twist it around a few times. So what you're doing there is you're effectively creating a knot inside the slot that you drilled. So that helps hold it all together after you've cut it, trimmed it off. And I'll do this twice. I'll go back through this original hole and then I'll go back another stitch and do the same thing. So the combination of the two basically means that thread's not going to go anywhere. Because remember, again, this is wax cord, so it kind of sticks to itself anyway. And then combined with the knot and the double stitching, keeps it from going anywhere. Doggone it, that other strap came off. So you pull it tight and that knot goes up into the inside. Okay, and that is it for that side. I'll just trim it up. And that is that. It's not the prettiest stitch in the world by any means, but it certainly will hold it in place.